Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Now approval of the agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
No presentations, or we'll go straight to with Stacy.
Morning.
Morning.
Just have one item for your consideration this morning. We do an annual water model with GMC engineers for maintaining and keeping our existing water model that we developed during the 2022 master plan updated. And the cost of this water model is $12,000. Well, it's $18,000 total. 12 is the twice a year update. 6,000 we use to handle any needs we may have on a time and material basis. So if we have, a big new developer coming in or a new business coming in that uses a lot of water, we may use them to help analyze our system to make sure we don't need to do any upgrades to handle that new business. But staff recommends approval of this proposal.
So what do they actually do?
We have a water model. It's just a hydraulic model of our whole water system. Over the years, it's become very complex. And, in 2022, when we did the master plan, they developed a water model to anticipate growth in our system, or help anticipate growth and how we would manage the system and do upgrades to our system. So instead of just doing it once every 5 to 10 years, it makes sense to just maintain that. So anytime we have issues, we can keep them on an on-call basis just to say, hey, we have these issues. Can you help out and look at the water model? So we think we've calibrated this this water model really well. It reflects our system well. So it's just a tool to help us as we grow, make sure we know where to maybe add water lines, water tanks, different things in our system. So maintaining that on a yearly basis instead of having to pay them several $100,000, 5 years from now, because the system's grown and
This
changed.
is a retainer.
So this is, it's basically just to update the model twice a year and on an as-needed basis if we need any extra help in our system with any kind of water flows or growth analysis.
I'm not a water engineer. But they take the calibration data, the actual data that you have, right, and the pressure,
yes,
readings and all of that, and they compare it against the model. The model being the optimal, what it should look like.
Correct.
It helps you determine where they need to make adjustments in the water system.
That's correct.
Layman's terms.
Move to consent.
Services.
Morning. The first item we have is a lighting services agreement with Georgia Power to upgrade street lighting in various areas throughout the county. As most of you probably know, the HID, or high density discharge lighting, is becoming obsolete. Power would like to start upgrading fixtures throughout the county to LED. They provided a proposal to where they're normalizing the street lights per fixture, which we like to see, and the overall cost for upgrading all these areas is going to be an annual savings of $2,613.36 for these areas. Staff recommends approval.
On the lights, the price went up again, right?
Well, street lighting, we agree when we execute the contract with Georgia Power. We agree to the price. Then a lot of these street lights are 10, 20 plus years old. History there, it kind of gets a little muddled. But once we contract with them, they have to actually come back to us if they inflate the prices. Come back to you. That's something we would like to do in the coming months, is to audit the system and reconcile any discrepancies. We're working through several issues with Georgia Power now. We were agreeable to bring this before you because it is a reduction in price, and it is upgrading all the fixtures in these areas that are listed at no charge and upgrading those to LED.
Lights that they were, I guess we've been installing them for a while, or they did for a while.
They would like to do upgrade throughout the county, so any of the old fixtures they'd like to upgrade to LED, but it's going to be done in phases. In each phase, we're going to drill down into to make sure that we agree with it and we're not getting any inflation behind the scenes.
Like what's saving us overall on this is the rest of them were
Well, overall, so we did the analysis and really the average per fixture's gone down a little bit, but you are correct. A lot of these fixtures, the ones that you identified, were old agreements, and we were getting really, really, really good deals from back then, but normalized over time. And what staff likes about this agreement is all the fixtures are the same. I think it's $21 around that per fixture instead of 16 here and 18 there, 24 there.
How close are they to converting the whole county?
This is phase one. They anticipate 4 phases. So there are a lot of...
They've already switched some because...
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Still part of the first phase.
And there were 1s and 2s pockets process.
Second.
This next item is award bid and construction contract to Cajun Construction for the Pheasant Run Stormwater Rehab Project Phase 1. Pheasant Run neighborhood's right across Washington Road from where we are now. There are several storm lines in that neighborhood with corrugated metal pipes that are corroded out. They're not so far dilapidated that we need to dig and replace them. We've inspected them and we feel confident a UV lining solution is best. With this contract, Cajun would line approximately 1,500 linear feet of pipe. The total cost is $655,122 paid out of stormwater infrastructure, and they would have 90 days from the issuance of notice to proceed. Staff recommends approval. 70 years, I believe.
You won't be here to deal with it if it fails. So what is not responsible? HydroClean?
There are actually, the next item is phase 2. Of the 2 items, when we bid them, there was 1 bid that came back in, and one of the contractors did not have their utility contractor's license. And then the other, the same. They either didn't have utility contractor's license or they didn't have a utility manager certified to do that work. So you have to have both of those in order to contract with the county, per state law.
second.
This next item is award bid and construction contract to Southeast Pipe Survey Incorporated for Pheasant Run Storm Water Rehab Project Phase 2. Again, this is in Pheasant Run. It's a lot of, as you see, it's a lot of pipe in that neighborhood that is corroded and dilapidated. So we decided to issue this bid in 2 phases. This is for an additional 1,850 linear feet of corroded pipe to line with UV lining. Total contract amount is $614 and $614,837. Be paid by Stormwater Infrastructure Fund as well. The contract will have 90 days work from issuance of notice to proceed. We will coordinate between staff and both contractors to ensure that there are no road closures or too much work going on in that neighborhood at the same time. We're not going to have multiple road closures at one time. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
This next item is award bid and construction contract to Reeves Construction for TIA 2 Group 3 resurfacing for the roadways listed. This is a contract with Reeves for $7,591,554.35. It would be funded by the county and reimbursed through TIA 2. We still have to come to an agreement with TIA on the final agreement because, as you know, roads have separate funding program for each road. So when roads come in under budget or an over budget, they have to be reconciled. So we're working through that process now with the office. We feel confident we can get to a solution, no more than this contract amount. Staff recommends approval.
How long do the time frame between the time?
It's usually really pretty quick. I mean, Hope Marshall in our road construction office has the process down to an art, usually within a month, 45 days tops. And the difficult part is getting the contractor's paperwork in order, making sure they're checking all the right boxes, and Hope does a good job at filtering that before she sends it to TIA.
Once this passes the full, how long does it take that?
It'll be 270 calendar days they'll have in the contract.
70? Okay. This was a big part. Got $30 million in just research.
32. This is group 3. We're going to bring it group 4 in a month to you for about 6 more roads. And that'll be about $10 million total for the year. Next year we'll bring the remaining $10 million.
Second. Already moved, right?
This next item is an independent contractor agreement with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood for the Uchi Creek Greenway all remaining phases improvement project. This is for 3 phases of what was programmed with TIA 2. This is for the concept design services phase. So this is $21,000 to pay Goodwin Mills and Kaywood to ride each route, walk each route, make sure that we're selecting the best side of the road or the corridor to ensure that we don't have a lot of utility conflicts or environmentally sensitive areas before we actually mobilize a survey. We don't want to go survey and then realize, hey, we went down the wrong way, and then have to step back and do it again. So this is just the concept phase. They will have 3.5 months, I believe, from notice to proceed to deliver concepts so that we can get to the phase. Staff recommends approval.
Walk through the next phase.
Sure. So this is the 3 sections. One is from William Few Parkway, the Grace Baptist Church down to Riverwood. That's one section. The other is section from Riverwood to Blanchard Woods Park. And then we have a section from Washington Road to the Uchi Creek near Baker Place landfill. So it's the 3 remaining sections that aren't programmed yet or aren't contracted yet, but they're programmed in the original TIA 2. We have to deliver what's programmed in TIA 2.
Right.
This basically, there's some more sections of the Greenway and some studies and concepts that have been released prior, but this finishes, once we get these sections constructed, this will complete.
Have until when to finish?
Finish.
Projects? You have to start?
I don't think we have a deadline to finish.
We have to be under construction by 28, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
we've got.
Second.
This next item is Resolution 24-33 and intergovernmental lighting agreement with Georgia Department of Transportation for roundabout lighting at the intersection of Columbia Road and Louisville Road. On July 18th of 2023, the board approved executing an indication of roundabout support letter to DOT in support of this roundabout. As a part of that support letter, the county committed to the full and entire cost to energize the lighting system installed and to provide the operation and maintenance thereof. So to pay for the upfront costs and pay for recurring costs associated with the power maintenance of that lighting. Design of the roundabout began in 2023 with projected construction start of fall of 2026. So likely 2027, 2028 before we actually see any of this. We don't expect it to be a tremendous cost, no more than anything around here. And staff recommends approval. Any questions?
They do a lighting like this when it's around residential, I guess. Do they use a different, I just worry about it bothering.
Sure. So with DOT on the roundabout here, they'll have the consultant actually do a lighting plan, and it'll have to go through both the DOT's approval, but also the power provider's approval to ensure that's something we can bring to the board, happy with before we actually sign the agreement.
Second.
The next item is Resolution 24-34 and a project delivery agreement for Clary Cut Road, Old Union Road alignment with roundabout on 221. As you know, the Board of Commissioners approved entering an IGA with Harlem. Harlem also executed IGA earlier this year. This is the project delivery agreement with DOT to allow the county to deliver the project. Staff recommends approval. And the last item I have is our Title VI Plan Annual Renewal for Transportation. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects people from discrimination based on race, color, or natural origin in programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. We have to have a Title VI plan adopted in order to receive federal funding. Nothing's changed from last year. Staff recommends approval.
No, sir.
Staff report, water utility.
Yes, sir. We have the year-to-date budget report and the water and sewer construction project reports for your review, and I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have.
Only one.
UV project? Yeah, we've done startup on the project. Had everything running. We've just last week we had a contactor fell on side A. So Clarks Hill's working, side B at Blanchard's working, side A we've had to order a new contactor. It keeps tripping out one of the sections for the bulbs. So we've ordered that, but other than that, we've taken delivery of all the chemicals. Everything's in good working order, gone through startup. Hardest thing we're having right now is the subs, getting them back out there to finish the touch-up painting, a few little things wrong with the asphalt that they need to fix. Just minor items, but as far as the equipment and everything, it's in fine working order, minus the contactor on side A. So once that's
I don't even
been
know what a
replaced,
contactor is.
it just closes to initiate the bulbs on lighting. It keeps tripping out. Some reason it's overheating and tripping out. So they ordered a new one because they think it's faulty.
If we had much complaints about the quality, I don't mean magnesium. I got the.
No, we haven't had real high. We've had some MIB and jasmine in the water we've been testing, but it's not been really high. So we've been treating at Clarks Hill for it and side B at Blanchard. So we have been treating, but it's not real high yet, so I wouldn't expect a lot of phone calls in regards to it. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir. We have the roadway projects report as well as the roadway resurfacing report for your review. I have to answer any questions you may have.
Public comment?
Property.
I motion to move full board.
Second. Executive session item.
No. I'll move that, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I adjourn the meeting.